Oh, hi. My name is Leslie Nelson. I'd like to wish you guys all a happy new year and welcome to 2021. My name is Leslie Nelson. I'm elder in residence of Carnegie, usgimukw, Nuxalk, Kwakwa. I'd like to acknowledge that we're here on unceded territory of the musqueam slave-tooth in Squamish, that they let us work, play, and do as we were doing now. Gaelicisla. Oh, thank you. So I'd like to do a virtual smudge on how to self-smudge yourself at your place. So it's just like taking a bath, you know, when you smudge yourself through all the smudge over, and you do your ear so you'll be able to hear good, and your eyes so you can see good, and your mouth so you can speak good. Enlighten your heart. Your arm. Your hand. Your leg. Each leg. Your foot, so you'll be able to walk it. And your hand is to do good things. Then you go around, you do yourself, you go around 4 times. Each time, say a prayer. Gaelicisla. I always, sometimes I would do the 4 directions to call in the ancestors. And I guess I'll do that now that I mention it. East. Welcome to East. Thank you. South. Thank you. West. Thank you. North. Thank you. Good. So now I'm going to smudge you if you're facing towards the screen. And you do it like what I did, like you just put it over yourself and do your eyes, do your ears, and Do the mouth. Do your arms, your hand. Enlighten your heart. Do your leg. Your foot. So you can walk good, in a good way. Now if you turn around and face away, I'll do your back. When I say Galagasa, I'm done. Galagasla. Thank you. Prayers. Now, I'd like to tell you a little story. A story that in a book I'm reading, found very interesting. It comes from a Yalis lady, and she, back in time, you used to get something to go to UBC, you know, to get educated. And when she went back home, when they had a break, she went back to Yalis. And she found out that she lost interest in UBC because all she ever did there was play basketball. And she wasn't into the learning of the teachings. So she stayed back, and she felt bad because someone else could have used that funding for schooling. That's how she spoke it. But she had the opportunity to work in a hatchery, not in a fish hatchery, but it is to do with the fish, but the hatchery is in a river, a lake. They always had to, from Yalis to Port Benil, they had to take a little ferry early in the morning. And they camp out for, like, from Monday to Friday. And they drive to a town called Wash Lake. And when they got there, they started from that area, and they had these hip chest waders that they had to put on because they were going to go into a lake or a river that was deep enough to go up to the chest. So it was a chest wader. And kind of like the first day that she started, and she was like the only woman in the crew. She wasn't comfortable with those chest waders. And she walked into the, you know, they had to check on these little, what they call a fry. It's the hatchery has got to do with the hatchery, spawning of the fish count. And she was slipping and sliding in that river, and if any water went in, you'd feel like 1,000 pounds, you know, walking with those chest waders. So, you know, it's, they looked after so many different lakes up in that area, reading that book, I'm learning too that how many lakes they got around that area. They traveled by car and camp, you know, in the cold. At one time, they were unloading stuff from the car to where they had to put the stuff, and there was quite a bit of stuff that they had to carry. And she was older than the rest of the crew, the young ones, the young guys. She was walking, and she had a cousin that was the same age as her. But you know, they didn't really, because it was kind of getting heavy, the stuff they were moving. But the young guys, you know, they walk by each other, they're carrying that stuff. And that lady was thinking, you know, like, why don't those young guys quit for a break, you know, like stop and rest? And she wasn't about to stop and rest because they won't. They finished their moving all the stuff. They had a break. Then the subject came up about, you know, their younger people are asking that lady why she didn't quit. She said because she was older, you guys were younger, and she didn't want you guys to sew her up, or saying that she's old, she's too old to work. And the younger ones didn't want to quit because she was older, and they didn't want to be, you know, stopping to rest because she's still working. So they had a really good laugh about that. Because each one didn't want to quit because the other is thinking that either, you know, keep up with the age or keep up with the young ones. And so as they worked and worked, each day, you know, the river was a little swift and strong and deep. They had to use like a canoe. Some places where it was too deep. Looking after the woods, I found out later it's a coho hatchery, and they had to watch all the, like I said, the fry. You know, they grow into coho. So the moral of the story is about this lady quitting UBC and not going back and getting into the hatchery, thinking that she was too old to work, and the young ones are, you know, she wanted to keep up with them. I'm still reading that book, and I'll try to get back into that story. I know there's a lot more that I wanted to say besides what I've said now. And I'm sure that if that lady is listening, my hand's up to you. It's a good story, good book. I found it interesting enough to tell this much of a story of it. You know, like, just they've seen a lot of different animals there, like the ones that when the spawning is all over and done, you know, the eagles are waiting for the carcass of the fish, and the bears are waiting in the water for their fish, or even trying to catch them while they're in the water yet for hibernation. So they're, you know, they're very good experience on that little hatchery that they were working on. And weekends they go back to Yalis. I just want to let you know, Yalis is Lurpe. So I'll leave you with that. And Galikisla, I know I have a lot more to say about that book. and I will if I get back to it. Yeah, I guess not. And don't forget to come Monday night, 6 to 8 for Mass. You give a free Mass, and then you get to pick up medicine. You have your own pouch. It'd be good. And you get crafts that you can pick up and work on. And yes, next time, I hope you had a good New Year. Happy New Year.